read something here first?
You're the middleman.
So do I got open with this? Okay. Alright. Here we go. Well, hello, Mr. Kniff, and hello, Mr. Troy.
My name is...
God 1 and God 2 and
Well,
God 3.
I mean, other than cuz, but I mean, you're not everyone's cuz, but I mean, I guess you could be.
Yes, that could be my
At some point in time, there was only 2 human beings, and they had sex. And here we are.
At some point in time, they were all related and still had sex.
Okay, alright. This is my whole problem with religion. Alright?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
How did we go from
Enough said.
Go ahead,
We'll delve into that at a separate time. But
That's a whole different fucking can of worms.
it is. It really is. Okay, so apparently we're going to kick today's episode off with scientists grew a human brain, or a piece of a human brain,
It's a piece of a human brain.
piece of a human brain, and they gave it eyeballs. Science.
This study.
Okay, so I'm going to read this story here real quick, and then we'll get into it. Our work highlights the remarkable ability of the brain organoids to generate primitive sensory structures that are light sensitive and harbor cells similar to those found in the body, says the senior study author J. something or other.
Scientist.
J Scientist, I like that. Okay, of University Hospital Dusseldorf. These organoids can help study brain-eye interactions during embryo development, model congenital retinal disorders, and generate patient-specific retinal cell types for personalized drug testing and transplantation theories. Many aspects of the human brain and diseases can be studied using 3D brain organoids derived from... Fuck, what the hell is that word?
Which one?
I don't even know. This is too high tech for me.
Where are you at?
Pluripotent?
Pluripotent.
Pluripotent? Gonna have to look that up. Stem cells, which can give rise to all cells in the body. Researchers previously used human embryonic stem cells to generate the optic cup, which gives rise to the retina, the light-sensitive layer of tissue at the back of the eye. Another study demonstrated that the optic cup-like structures can be generated from iPSCs, which are derived from adult cells that have been genetically reprogrammed back into an embryonic-like state. That sounds like a lot of technical mumbo-jumbo to me, but it is also fucking kind of scary.
And
realistically.
interesting at the same time.
It is.
So what we know is that science has reached the ability to recreate Joe Biden's brain.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what this topic, well, this whole little section here is trying to say is that they're going to study the way that light reflects from your retina and how they can study that to see how people's brain acts normally and how people have disorders or like there's multiple uses for it, but basically it's to see how light goes into the eye, into the retina, and acts in the brain.
Do you see this as a cure for glasses?
Well, you should know that. You already had a cure for message.
Well, I mean, that was LASIK surgery, but it was also slightly invasive.
I mean,
If they can do it through like genetic therapy
Yeah.
and everything, you know,
like inject cells into
let's
your
just say-
eye.
let's just
To
say,
be honest,
you know,
genetic therapy was created by Nazis.
but it's still in practice today
It is still in practice. So
because the only reason it is in practice is because there were benefits from it.
there is benefits from it. It's definitely strange to think of the kind of human beings that they would create by using genetic therapy in the future.
I've seen that sci-fi movie.
I mean, I'll feed right off of what he said. The genetic babies, right? They can make babies that are basically perfect. At some point. in
Okay,
time.
What someone's opinion perfect is, and what another person's opinion perfect is different.
Well, I'm not talking
Are
about.
we gonna have a when we go have a baby? Are we gonna open up have a folder in front of us, or a computer, or laptop, and say, "Oh, I want these traits in my baby." Bang, bang, bang. Check mark, check mark, check mark.
well, I mean, that could very well possibly be coming.
Yeah, I'm talking more along the
Unfortunately.
lines of like immune system defenses
Right.
and stuff like that. Like basically.
Yes,
humans.
this is more or less about you know, underlying health issues.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, improving human life would be a good thing. But I don't like the idea of being able to choose physical or mental traits in future children.
Wouldn't that help our species survive longer though?
Yeah, I guess it would.
Don't we live long enough as it is?
We do live very long.
Well, like,
I'm
that's
starting to
also-
believe that we. Well, I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to go into it. No.
Hold that thought. Let me ask you this: what is your opinion on the? I guess the. I can't think of the word right now. Stem cell research. Do you think it is okay, or do you have objections to it?
I think it needs to be restricted, but there is benefits to it. Like you can't have it open so that they have free will to do whatever they want with stem cell research because everybody.
Like growing a human brain and eyeballs?
Yeah, because then it's just going to go crazy. There has to be some restrictions.
Well, what's your opinion on that?
I believe that I don't know how much it has to do with biomechanics, but I think that there's a possibility in the future that they begin combining computer metallic technology with biomechanics in producing technologies in the future.
So you think that we are going to become hybrid AIs at some point in time in the future?
I mean, it's definitely not going to be human. It might have some parts of a human,
Like organic
right?
AIs.
I mean, I think part of the story, and I think one of the alien. I can't remember if it was Alien or if it was Predator. I can't remember which movie it was, but the ship was basically it was not a computer. It was not a machine. It was completely made of. It was biologically driven, and that would be a weird. That's a weird
I think
idea
you're
to
talking
think
about
of.
Prometheus.
Maybe it was Prometheus.
Yeah. Okay. Aren't they already kind of doing that? You know, with some of the veterans that are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan with missing limbs, and they're putting these robotic arms and legs and everything on them.
Well, that's mechanical.
Yeah, that would be more like cyborg.
Right.
I'm talking
But-
about actually growing biology to serve the needs of people, just as if they were using a machine. But it's not a machine; it's biology.
But they're able to control these limbs with their brain functions. So it has to be interconnected with biology somehow. Whether it be the electrical stimulation that they're sending to, I don't know how all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
I
more
don't-
of like a cyborg type thing
Yeah.
than it is actual
He's-
biotechnology.
he's-
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going-
that's true. That's a good point.
He's going more for like from start to finish. This thing grows
Right.
in the lab, as opposed
Right.
to like you're already you, and then you get the limbs. Like this thing is grown for a specific purpose.
Right.
Is what he's trying to say.
Alright, what's the next topic? Comments on what's best for the podcast. What to improve, what we can improve on, how we maybe act, or maybe how. I mean, obviously, we know there's issues. We have issues
Okay,
with
well,
lighting.
I'm going to stop you right there
Okay.
because number one, we're not acting.
No.
We're just talking.
Right, but we all have certain things we do. Like somebody commented about me scratching my nuts. We had.
That's true. I actually heard that like 5 times.
I mean, Troy doesn't like when Greg crosses his arms.
Yeah.
So that's he's trying to work on improving that. I feel like when I watch myself that I need to sit up straighter and I'm not leaned or hunched over.
You're failing in that right now.
Well, this fucking chair is awful and it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
But anyways, I mean, I would like not only for us to comment on that, but for also people to comment on the video and tell us what they think that we need to improve on, and we can comment on that on next week's videos.
That's correct. Yes. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe down in the video below if you haven't already. That's a shameless YouTube.
Hit that bell button.
Okay, well, I will say this. This is what I got on that. The main thing from the first week was everyone talking over each other.
Right.
Now, granted, we were pretty fucking hammered, but
Yeah.
this right here is a lot better already. If we can have a cordial conversation, you know, not speak over each other and everything, and I know you're thinking about doing it right now.
No,
I see it in your eyes.
I'm thinking about
I
how
see it in your face.
I'm thinking about how much I feel like that I have improved on it compared because I hate watching myself on the videos. I don't like listening to myself talk. I don't like the way I
Well,
appear.
you need to stop being so self-conscious.
Right. I mean that's
That's a
how
men-
I've always
that's a
been.
mental thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be.
I
looking at
am
other places.
watching myself kind of in a way. I'm adapting and changing the way that I see myself and the way I want to perceive myself to change the way how I want other people to perceive myself.
That is the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard. in my
I'm
life.
in my fucking
Oh,
head.
Hang on.
I'm in my head
I know
like
what he's
fucking
trying to
Donkey
say
Kong.
here. He has an image of himself in his head.
Right.
And when he watches himself,
He's like, I'm not that guy.
it's not. Yeah, it's not that guy.
I
so
need
it's
to make
fucking
myself
him.
that guy.
Or-
Is that what you're?
Maybe not make himself that guy, but it's kind of throwing him off.
Move it more toward that.
Or
range,
he's trying
right.
to figure out now who am I because he doesn't. He's not that guy he thought.
So, okay, in rebuttal, which one is it?
Which one is it? It's I'm not who I think I am, and I don't think really anybody is. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed stuff. If you watch, do you watch yourself on there and see yourself and see am I who I thought I was on the
I'm 100% who I thought
Okay.
I was.
Yeah, who are you?
who am I? I'm Ken. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but
Okay.
I mean, does it bother me that I'm not who I thought I am?
Does it?
I mean, I guess it does a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of speaking on it, so I
Right.
would assume it was. Okay.
I would like to say no, but
I-
the answer is yes.
At least you're honest.
I would have a couple questions. Okay. Number one, how did you perceive yourself prior?
It's a good question.
Well, I definitely didn't think I had a fucking belly on me, and it sounds.
Dude, I've been telling you for fucking like 4 years you're fucking fat as shit.
Yeah, but when I look at myself over
You used to
there,
be
I don't
like
see
130 goddamn pounds.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I was 130 pounds for a very fucking long time.
Very long time.
Let's
Until
go a
you got
little
out the
deeper
army.
than your physical image.
All right.
Yes.
Who do you think you are internally?
The number. Well, internally. I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause that's
internally, I haven't changed at all. I'm gonna think the way I want to think, and
But you have an image of yourself, apparently. So
yeah, but it's not an internal. The internal stuff has nothing to do with.
Well, you see yourself in the mirror every time you get out of the shower. Or something.
Right, but that's not internal. That's external. If you look at yourself in the mirror,
It's a good point.
Right.
like the way I feel about who I am on the inside doesn't change, and I'm happy with who I am on the inside for to a certain extent. Obviously, everybody wants to be better and do better.
Right.
But who I thought, because I mean, when I look at, I don't really look at myself in mirrors. To be honest, I take a shower, I fucking get out, and I fucking walk away. I don't fucking look at myself in the mirror. I don't obsess about the way I look on the outside, but I mean, seeing myself in camera and I don't know if it has much to do with movements and gestures, and but just seeing myself on camera is just odd. It's like awkward to me, and I don't like watching myself.
Well, that's going to be a problem in the long run if we
Yeah.
keep up with this.
But I feel like that's going to change. I think I'm going to be more comfortable watching myself. I think I'm going to.
Or we can just take you out in the backyard and beat the shit out of you.
I don't know how that's going to help.
So
I think it might be fun for you guys, but
you have
I mean,
image
I'm just
issues
gonna help.
that you need to overcome.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like everybody
Everybody does.
Like everybody
At some
does,
point.
right?
We're not perfect. We're
No.
fucking human beings.
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay, he went into the critique of himself. What's the critique of yourself?
I would say I move around a lot.
Yeah, you are fidgety.
Yeah, I'm pretty fidgety. But other than that, probably a little more vocal sometimes.
You don't have to turn that off.
Yeah, I thought I did.
And that's
Go
about all I would say for me that I see, personally. But other than that, I think I got everything else.
All right, I will say this. At the end of the night, when we got into our opioid video, you did start doing what he was doing earlier in the day, talking over people.
It's something that if you look, I don't think there's
Right,
really anything.
That's
Right,
it.
right.
I'm not saying it was bad, but
You get excited over a
Right.
topic, then you kind of go.
well, I mean, on top of that, I mean, you had plenty of experience with this stuff, way more than
Right,
me
right.
or even him,
Right. So.
or especially him.
I think that not to cut in, but I think that if somebody feels more passionately about something, that it's fine for them to. It's good to give them leeway to go about their the way that they're feeling if they wanna to get it out. But as long as there's like one of us is like a third party when somebody has an argument or a disagreement about it,
Right, someone
be
needs
able
to
to-
stay objective.
right?
Yeah. And we need to work on letting other people talk
Right.
when we're
Right.
passionate about a subject.
Right.
Time. It's all about time.
Right.
That takes time.
And,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to when you're passionate and you're on a track that you're trying not to get it off track, but sometimes we all run on. I mean, I'm definitely the worst offender. That I feel
But
strong.
you're doing good.
Yeah, I feel strongly about a lot of issues, and
Going solid today.
yeah.
Just sitting up. I would venture to say the worst critique about myself is basically just on the sound, but hopefully we're working on correcting that here today.
You don't like the way you sound.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. It's that it just sounded like super, super echoey, and
Yeah.
it's like half the time you couldn't even hear me. Maybe I wasn't projecting well enough. And that makes
Yeah, I could see that.
any sense. I mean, if you watch the videos, feel free to comment.
I think when I was younger, when we were growing up, I didn't project. I didn't even know that was a thing, projecting your voice. When I was that's something that I actually learned in the military, in the army.
Yeah.
If you didn't speak loudly, or if you didn't say something loudly, you would be getting punished for it. Push-ups or just getting yelled at. It's something that you had to do was to project, and
We have to be able to communicate, especially in a loud situation,
right,
which combat is.
right. You have to be able to project, and projection has something to do with a little bit of confidence as well.
You got to be more assertive
Right.
the way you say things.
All right. Well, gentlemen, here we are back again.
Another day.
Another day, another crazy news story. So, apparently there was a gentleman by the name of Floyd Ray Roseberry,
Yes.
I believe, who apparently drove his pickup truck onto the steps of the National Library and demanded an audience with the President of the United States, Joe Biden. First of all, I will say the audacity of an act like that.
The fucking balls, dude.
On top of that, he claimed he had a bomb in his truck, and he still wanted to talk to the president. Comments.
He didn't make it very far.
Okay, just to also clarify, if you haven't heard about this news story, there was a 5-hour standoff with the Capitol Police, and it ended with him surrendering to the Capitol Police. He was from North Carolina. He also claimed to be a member of a multi-thousand-member organization that was about to start the Second American Revolution, or something like that. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Veteran?
I believe this is probably just a one-sided story where only one side of the aisle is going to talk about it, and the other side is going to ignore it. But the truth of the matter is that it's just a crazy, mentally ill person, and you're going to find when we play the video here that there's no substance to this. It's annoying that, in my opinion, that it even happened. There probably is thousands of people that think like him, and there's probably thousands of people on the other side that are going to get all holed up thinking that there's some powerful thousands of person organization coming to take over the country. It's a non-story. He's mentally ill. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to it.
Okay, do we have that clip?
We do, actually.
Play.
A man claimed to have a bomb in a pickup truck near the U.S. Capitol on Thursday surrendered to police after a 5-hour standoff. The incident prompted an evacuation of nearby buildings, including the Supreme Court, and paralyzed a section of the nation's capital for much of the day.
If you want to take me out, take me out.
A video live streamed on Facebook showed the suspect, identified as
Is that all
Floyd Ray
that-
Roseberry from North Carolina, making
Oh, there's
remarks
more?
about President Joe Biden from inside a truck.
If you blow my truck up, man, hey. It's on you, Judd.
He's not going to blow your truck up. He won't even blow up the presidential palace in Afghanistan.
The revolution's on. I cannot set this bomb off. The only thing that can set this bomb off is enough decibels.
Capitol Police
Can you
Chief
pause it?
Thomas Manger.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Alright, what did you say the bomb was made out of?
Tannerite.
Tannerite, which is the chemical used for.
Well, it's an explosive property chemical. I don't have the information right.
Right, but they were using it. What do people use it for?
Typically, in small amounts, they use it for gender reveal parties.
Right, so it never went off, so we don't know if it was a boy or a girl.
No, we don't.
Right. This is 100% a non-story. Some fucking crazy asshole drives up fucking steps on a fucking library, demands fucking random fucking bullshit, and and nobody fucking cares. He goes fucking prison.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. I understand where you come from. But let's say the man is mentally deranged, which
Right.
more than likely is. But let's also just say that there is some sort of basis to the claims he's making, that there is some sort of 1,000 people organization or whatever with the same goals and agenda that he has.
I don't believe that at all. I believe there might be thousands and thousands of people that might listen and hear what he says or talk to him, or maybe there's probably only like 5 or 6 because they know he's fucking mentally disturbed and are just for their own entertainment value, say, egg him on and say, oh, go ahead, go do it, they'll listen, they'll do
Okay.
it, go ahead.
What if he is not the brains, obviously, of the organization? What if someone else
You just
put
said
him up?
yourself that obviously he's not the fucking brains of it. He probably didn't even put himself up to it.
That's exactly what I'm asking you. What if there are people behind the scenes, pulling the goddamn fucking puppet strings, as what normally happens with stuff like this?
Are we getting back to the people that tried to kidnap the governor of what was it, Wisconsin or fucking Illinois or Michigan? Yeah, I think it was Michigan, where the FBI had a hand in setting up the attempted kidnap of the governor.
Well, and you kind of like nailed that on the head, because I believe that was more or less a publicity thing, in my personal opinion.
A lot of it is publicity. The entire January 6th thing is fucking publicity. It was just as much as protest as everything
okay.
else. The only difference is
What's your opinion of what happened on January 6th?
it was a protest about people being angry about how the election happened, and
And how do you feel about the media coverage of that protest?
I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Just like mostly peaceful protests in everywhere else fucking across the country where there was a fucking riot. It was basically pretty much a protest / riot that happened anywhere else in the country, except for the fact that people, instead of people destroying the businesses of the lower middle class people, instead it was happening to the rich and powerful. So in their minds, it's a bigger fucking deal.
So you, by that statement, believe that the media coverage was slanted.
Obviously, it's always fucking slanted on every fucking issue.
Comments?
I think all of this stuff, no matter who covers it, is going to affect mentally ill people, and they're going to do the same thing. So the more exposure they have to this kind of chaotic stuff, because they feel suppressed in life, they're going to act out just like this because they see so many people doing it, same with the shootings and stuff like that.
I believe they're creating people that are even more mentally. You can see the emotion in my voice because it's getting me worked up. So obviously they're getting other people worked up. I'm more intelligent to fucking do some fucking stupid retarded shit like drive up the stairs to some fucking library, request some fucking
And you're more logical.
permit.
That's why we have
Yeah.
laws and stuff, because there's irrational people out there that will do this shit.
Right. But I mean, it gets me emotional, and obviously that makes me click. And it gets people everywhere on the left and the right side. I don't consider myself on either. I consider myself independent in the middle, and an independent thinker. I consider myself an independent thinker. So I will take in your stories, and obviously at some points they're gonna make me emotional about the stories, but I'm going to reflect, and I'm going to do my own
Research.
observations and researches on what
And
the
that is how every one of us should, conduct our daily lives.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you're not informed on a issue or matter that the people that are passing laws on us, or for us rather, are just like a party thing, you know, because that is a terrible, terrible road to go down.
And then you got people that come up with their own opinions and then influence the people around them to follow their opinion.
And apparently this guy, this Floyd Ray Roseberry, did all this because he thought that the government was trying to push socialism on us.
There are segments of the government that are trying to push socialism, so he's not completely out of the reign of reality. But as in most insane fucking things,
He went about it wrong.
he did go about it wrong. But there's always some truth in the lies that you hear.
Okay, fair enough. And then, real quick, what would be your response to this? I believe he's a member of the House of Representatives, Mo Brooks from Alabama, who sympathized with this man about his concerns about socialism and how it's taking over the country.
I want to say that every I want to try to word this correctly. Just because a bad person does bad things does not make them 100% bad. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everyone has, you know, moments of non-clarity, I would say.
Right. So he's probably, I'm not going to say that he's overreacting because he's probably been thinking about this for a very long time. But there doesn't mean that there's some cases of reality in the way he's thinking or truth to what he believes. But he just goes about it in the wrong ways. And to be completely honest, there's a very thin line between bravery to an extent and insanity.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Any comments on that?
He basically said exactly what I was thinking, that in order to change stuff, you can't be too, I don't want to say outspoken, because that's exactly what you want to do, but you don't want to be overly aggressive with the way that you do things in a physical manner. You want to push your agenda maybe verbally before you start going into too much chaos, because that's never a good thing.
Right. Well, and by enough research hasn't been done into the background yet as to how, you know, much transpired on the verbal scale of this before it came to this. So,
Right.
but this is my opinion. This is what I will say. Granted, yes, he probably does have mental illness. On top of that,
He could have a mental illness.
he
could have been
he
persuaded.
he might not. He might have been like brainwashed or something. Who knows? But I mean, you know,
Charles
basically,
Manson did it. so-
basically saying that, you know, you're part of an organization that has like thousand people trying to start like a new revolution and everything.
I just want to say,
That's tough to stomach. It's tough to stomach.
to an extent, we're all brainwashed in a way. We've all been propagandized throughout television and schools, and basically, in many ways, cultures.
It's not my fault.
Cultures are developed in a propagandic way.
Right. But also, that's your own fault because you don't do the research. You don't formulate your own informed opinion. So, we basically the get out of that is we all got to do better. We all have to do better.
You can't just go along
You
with.
can't just watch a video on YouTube and think that I know everything now.
Right.
And not only that, don't be afraid to be assertive.
Or
with your
especially the
opinion.
news.
Mhm.
Sorry, I did.
But I was just saying, don't be afraid to be assertive with your opinion. because the other people are going to bark way louder than you, and they're going to get their way unless you and everybody else says what's on their mind. So
If you don't stand up and say the things that you think, even if just because somebody's gonna be unhappy and it's gonna you can't just go along with everybody.
right.
If you just go along, then you're not an individual. You just become a drone.
Yeah, you're a drone. Exactly.
And I don't know if anybody saw the memes. It's been probably 4 or 5 years since the memes were going out, where there was like the NPC meme. You know what I'm talking about? Non-playable characters.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a
I
video
did
game
see
thing.
that.
Basically, everybody's they want everybody to be an NPC, just like a fucking some random guy who
Yeah.
does his business and
Obedient worker.
yes. And I'm not an NPC. I mean, I to be honest with you, I could give a shit. Like if my company or whoever said that I had to act or be a certain way, I mean, I understand professionalism, and I'm not gonna go out spouting my politics in a workplace. But if they want me to, I don't know. There's lines that I'm not gonna cross. If they told me that I had to get the vax to go to work, I tell them to go fuck themselves,
Right.
because it's
Yeah.
my body. It's my body. I'm going to do with what I want in my body, regardless if I wasn't even vaccinated. If I was
Well-
vaccinated and they told me I had to be vaccinated, I wouldn't tell them that I was vaccinated anyways.
Well, let me put this in perspective for you. Them telling you that would be the same as them telling a pregnant woman that she would have to get an abortion.
And so here's I agree that
In my opinion.
abortion, in some ways, is murder.
Let's not go down the abortion rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'm more
It's
or less
not. It's not
making
abortion.
a point.
It's an actual physical truth. When you go look for life on Mars, you're looking for bacteria. I mean, there's murder in every sense. You could fucking squash a fucking ant, and you could call it murder. I mean,
That's
there's
life.
Yeah, it's life in general. I have absolutely nothing wrong with abortion if you want to have abortion. It's not my place to tell you what you can and can't do. I do think there should be a discussion between a man and a woman, because I believe that's a shared
shared
thing.
decision.
That is a shared decision, in my opinion.
But that's not
But
always the
but
case.
but that's their thing. That's not my thing.
This is
I'm
another
not getting in,
discussion.
Mhm.
I'm not getting into anybody else's business on what they should or shouldn't do with their body. It's my decision on whether or not I want to take a medication or a drug, and it's their decision if
It
they
should
want
be
to
your
do that.
decision too, whether or not you want to or don't want to take the vaccine as well.
Right.
So, okay, all right, it's good. Moving on.
I don't know what else is there.
Someone's got some.
Well, we should probably cut it off and try to figure out something else. Instead of just staring at each
No,
other.
I'm looking at you two gaze into each other's eyes.
I barely even look.
All right, so here we go. Final topic of the day. You
Thank you.
said something earlier. Why don't you go ahead and reiterate it for the viewers out there?
Okay, so I started talking about Western culture and having to be fake nice, and the statistics show that we are way unhappier in places like Russia, where they're brutally honest, but they don't put their emotions into what other people say, and they tend to trust each other more, and they have more fulfilling relationships because they're brutally honest with each other and don't try to hide what they're actually thinking when they say stuff.
Now, when you say more fulfilling relationships, are you talking about friendships or intimate relationships?
All of them.
All of them.
Everything.
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 Everything on the board.
Right. Because when a woman likes you in Russia, she'll just tell you that she likes you. If she wants to fuck you, she'll fucking tell you she wants to fuck you. If a guy doesn't like your idea and thinks it's stupid, he'll tell you to your face. And there's no emotional negativity involved when you tell someone a brutally honest opinion. Whether I'm talking about the negative part, but you also have the positive ones too. It's just people speaking their mind, and everybody there in that culture just goes with it, so you know what people are thinking instead of hiding their true feelings.
I do have a question, so is this like something, so how do you know that that's the way the culture works?
Yes, have you been to Russia?
No, I read about it.
Where,
In a
where,
book.
you
In
know
a
where you-
book.
in a book, okay. I mean, I agree that everybody's fake nice to each other. I don't know to the extent that, I'm not going to say everybody, because there's obviously people with no filters.
Most people,
whatsoever.
like, yeah, I'll tell you to go fuck yourself real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I
But
have
it's
my,
usually
I have my moments as well, but I do have, like I don't know if you want to call it like a herd mentality or whatever, where, I generally just want people to like me more because it makes life easier.
How so? Does it really make life easier if more people like you?
I think it's less of a
I don't
hassle.
believe it may be less of a hassle, but I don't believe it makes life easier.
I think it's. I
You
think
still have to go through the same
I think it's
work schedule and everything.
right. I think it makes life easier, as in more people will be willing to do things for you or to help you if you're nicer to them, rather than be conflicted with them.
you don't always have to be conflicted with them, but the negative aspect of what you're doing, like say you don't really want to do something and you're being nice, and you don't, and you say yes, and then you go and do that.
Well, you don't know me well enough to know that if I don't want to do something, I mean, obviously there's even in our discussions on the timing of what we're doing and stuff like that, you should know that I don't really care. I mean, there's just situational things throughout the day, just to be generally nice to people, even when they do things that you don't fucking like, just to pretend to like them or to say things that make them like you a little bit better, just to fucking make life easier on myself.
Give me an example. What have you done in the past week to make your life easier? Just by using words.
Even if it's somebody that, this is actually, now it's getting more difficult for me to explain. But generally, I try to be generally nice to people, and there are people that I don't like in general that I say hi to, or just try to be generally kind to them, just so they don't hassle me in the future, or if it doesn't come back on me. I don't know, would that be considered like a fear thing, or
I don't think that's an
cowardly thing?
example though, but
well, it's hard for me to go into like an example.
specifics.
I don't want to go into specifics.
Yeah, understood.
And call specific people out. But there is people that I don't generally like, that I'd just be nice and kind to, even if I just feel like it'd be better if they were in a ditch somewhere.
Okay.
That's a sharp left turn.
Yeah.
That I did not see.
That went dark real quick. Wow. All right. Rebuttals.
Alright, so he's talking about, in my opinion, is the negative part. Like, oh, I gotta be nice. And what I was saying was, they're just brutally honest. Not necessarily in a negative way.
Right.
They speak their mind. So it could be that they're being nice because they're generally nice to that person. And they don't like someone, they'll definitely not be like a total dickhead, but they'll let that be known that, like, hey, this is my boundaries, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they keep their boundaries in check and their values in check. Not necessarily that they're being dickheads all the time. So, and it seems to work better than our culture does.
I don't know if I learned the happy medium where you can be. I'm generally overly nice. I don't know how to be.
A dick.
Yeah,